Garmin has been building out its smart wrist gadget range over the past few years, building multiple styles and finishes at varying price points. Right at the top of those price points is the Garmin Mark, second generation. It features everything you'd expect from a high-end Garmin, but in a luxurious, super high-end case and design. I'm Cam Bunton from Pocketlint, and this is our review. If you do like it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap the notification bell. And when you're charging big money for a watch, there's an expectation that you deliver a finely crafted object made with high-grade materials. Garmin has absolutely delivered here, offering a design reminiscent of luxurious mechanical watches, with no expense spared on materials. We've been testing the Golfer Edition, one of the more expensive SKUs, and like others in the Mark II range, it has a titanium case. But the bezel around the display features a custom-etched ceramic index finished with dark green and white markings. There's no denying it's quite a chunky watch, and you can definitely feel it on your wrist when you wear it. And it features a similar 46mm case to both the second-gen Epix and the Fenix 7. It's also pretty thick at 15mm. It's fair to say then that it has some heft, and likely isn't a watch for smaller wrists. This particular model ships with two straps, the premium nylon weave strap in green, plus the usual thick silicone strap. The weave nylon is a high quality band which isn't quite as supple as some other cheaper nylon bands, but all the metal fixings and trimmings feel very well made and put together, and it clips in place using Garmin's usual quick release mechanism, so you can just clip it out and back in again when you want to change it. Now, like many of its other watches, the Mark is also designed to take a beating. It's waterproof up to 100 meters, so you can be sure it won't be troubled by outdoor activities in the rain or your sweatiest workouts. It even copes just fine when you go swimming or take part in any water-based activities. The sapphire crystal material on the outside is designed to be scratch resistant and hard to break, as is the titanium case. All in all, it's a very solid watch, but it doesn't have that overtly cheaper, outdoorsy feel to it like some of Garmin's other watches. It looks and feels like a proper high-end piece of jewelry. The other thing we're glad to see ditched from the cheaper watches is the charging cable. Garmin's new Mark still has 4 physical contact points for charging, so it's not wireless, but this time there's a magnetic cradle, so it just snaps onto the back without the need for any force. And it allows you to rest the watch flat on the bedside or your desk. Plus the cable has a USB-C connector port on the other side. Otherwise, it's built on the same principles as a lot of other Garmin models, and that means it's a 5-button control system. It's been a mainstay of Garmin's flagship models for a few years now, and means you can control the interface with intuitive physical buttons, as well as the touchscreen. Now, moving on to the display, and it'd be no exaggeration to say that the display on this watch is probably the clearest and brightest we've seen on pretty much any smartwatch. Most of that isn't down to the color panel, its backlighting, or its pixel density. Even though at 390 by 390 with an AMOLED panel, those are still certainly high points. It's more about the glass on the top. Put it side by side with the Garmin Epix and you'll immediately see the difference in optical clarity. It features a really high-grade sapphire crystal glass lens, and it's domed to make it clearer, giving this impressively clear view of the screen below. That, combined with the bright and vivid AMOLED panel, means you get a great contrast levels and vibrant colors, making it ideal for colorful and detailed watch faces, but more importantly, easy to read when you're outside on a hike, on a run, or when you want to glance at data while on the move. The interface is the same as what you'll find on other Garmin watches, meaning a swipe down or up on the screen takes you to your list of glances, and this is effectively a neat list of key information that you want to glance at during the day, hence the name. This can be customized and reorganized depending on what you want to see in that list. So it can show your training status, your body battery, heart rate, VO2 max, the weather, sunrise or sunset time, compass, floors climbed, steps, intensity minutes, and any manner of other key bits of information that you likely need. And if you tap on one of those glances, it takes you to the full breakdown of that particular metric or data point. It's pretty basic, but you can add or remove any number of glances and dive in for a better look whenever you like. Now, the one area this Garmin is a little lacking compared to some other so-called proper smartwatches is that it lacks some of those interactivity and third-party app elements that you might get on an Apple Watch or a Wear OS watch. You do get notifications from your smartphone, but beyond a few preset quick replies, you can't do much else with them except read them. Likewise, there's not much in the way of third-party application support. Still, this is a compromise that's well worth living with because it means the watch has incredible battery life and lasts much longer than any Wear OS watch or even the Apple Watch Ultra, but we'll go more into that later. You do get offline music from popular streaming services like Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer or iHeartRadio, and with 32GB available, there's room for a good number of songs. You also get Garmin Pay, the company's contactless payment system, which is great in a pinch, as long as you're with a bank that supports Garmin's protocol. Now, in the past, Garmin's been criticized for its confusing and data-heavy approach to fitness and health metrics, and that's still there to an extent. But what Garmin does with all the data now is so much more user-friendly than it was before, and far more useful. Using the watch's Glances interface, you can gain access to a number of different relatable metrics. Elements like recovery time have been added to with training readiness, so you know not only how much time you need to rest, but also how ready you are to take on some exercise. This is effectively the Garmin watch looking at your most recent exercise, its intensity, combining that with your all-day movement and activity and sleep to determine how well rested and prepared you are. The idea is to stop you overreaching and becoming counterproductive in your exercise. And that also feeds into the suggested workout feature for runners, to tell you what you should maybe try today. Runners also get useful metrics to look at during and after their runs. Of course, those include the usual pace, distance, heart rate, cadence and elevation, plus the map with the route of your run. Just as useful now, if not more so, are the stamina and potential stamina and the power metrics. The former can see how much juice you have left on that particular run, and the latter, how much effort you're using at each stage. Now, in a lot of ways, these bits of information all, for the most part, look at all the same data, but just find useful angles and ways in which to present them more relatably. And that's a move I can completely get behind. How long the battery lasts depends on a lot of factors, like how you set up the watch's power modes and whether or not you have the always-on display enabled, and the length and type of activities you're tracking. And if you listen to music while you're working out, all of it has an impact. With all of that said, with our own typical usage and the watch set up and left in its default mode with the always-on display disabled, we managed more than 2 weeks on a full charge. In fact, the average was between 15 and 16 days. As for our typical use, that meant a workout of some description almost every day, with 4 or 5 20 to 30 minute outdoor running workouts with GPS per week, and 30 to 45 minute yoga sessions on our rest days. This was with it connected to our smartphone, displaying all the notifications and wearing it at night to track sleep. It's a very strong performer then in terms of battery, and that's just in its default mode. You get other power management presets to choose from as well, helping your battery go even longer. Its core functionality has performed flawlessly in all of our testing as well. When starting a workout outdoors that needs GPS, it only takes a few seconds to log onto the GPS signal, and while tracking, it does so accurately and consistently thanks to multi-band GPS support. We took it out on multiple runs over a few weeks alongside the Apple Watch Series 7, and it tracked pretty much identically, to the point where we'd feel the vibration at almost exactly the same time to inform us of every new kilometer passed. Heart rate tracking was strong too, and it adapts well to changing heart rates when doing interval training and speed runs. In the end, there's no denying that as a sports, health and fitness tracking smartwatch, there are a few out there that match the Mark 2nd Gen in performance and build. Certainly in design. It's that great combination of excellent performance and data, handy lifestyle features, long battery life and stunning design that make it an absolute delight to wear and use every day. There is one very big sticking point, however. The price. It's priced like a luxury watch, costing about $2,000 or near enough. That's prohibitively expensive and will stop most consumers from even considering it. However, you can get a lot of the same features and performance from the Garmin Epic, so that is worth checking out. Let me know what you think of the Mark. Let me know on Twitter if you want to. I'm at Cam Bunton, or you can use the comments section down below. If you did like this video, please do leave a thumbs up. It helps us a great deal. Tap subscribe and the notification bell, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.